All right, guys, we've got a 2000 Toyota Tacoma. We're gonna do some front brakes on it. It's not like a newer vehicle. Newer vehicles now, they have floating rotors, they call them, where you pull the caliper, and sometimes you have a couple screws that hold it tight against the bearing assembly. This one, you have to remove the bearings from the assembly and repack them and put a new rotor on the bearing hub. So we're going to tear this apart right quick, and hopefully you enjoy the video. First thing we're going to do is, there's 2 bolts in the back on the caliper that hold the caliper and the caliper bracket onto the spindle. So we're going to remove them 2 bolts. Now I've loosened all this a little ahead of it in advance, so see how we've got the caliper off of there, and there's actually 2 bolts, just like a normal. These are all normal vehicles here. You got your 2 bolts to hold the caliper onto the bracket. We'll remove that. I've already pre-pressed also the caliper itself back into place. So I want to remove the 2 bolts for the caliper onto the spindle. Just have to pull one loose. So then we'll pull there's a carter pin right here. Pull the carter pin, pull the lock. Then you take this packing nut off that holds the rotor in place. All right, then you take the bearings out. You inspect the bearings to see if you see any shiny particles in it. This one looks pretty good. The way I remove the rear inside bearing is I put the packing nut back on, and then I just kind of pull it back. And what it does is it pulls the seal and the bearing and all out of the back of the bearing housing. We'll inspect the bearing, see if there's any metal in it. Looks very good. So what we'll do is we'll repack these bearings and we'll reinstall them. Now on this particular rotor, you have to remove these 5 bolts and remove the rotor from the housing. So that's the typical way you do the older vehicles, like the older Fords, all the older Toyotas, and older Chevrolets. They all had a bearing assembly that you could put new bearings in. Nowadays you have to buy the whole spindle and everything now with a hub bearing assembly on them, and it's gotten ridiculous. I priced one the other day for what was that? Can't remember exactly what the car was, but I ended up getting a bearing that I could press because I have a press here in my shop. But they wanted $600 for the bearing assembly with a spindle. And that's a nay-nay. Not for me. I can't afford something like that. But that's typically how you do the brakes. You squeeze this piston in, just like any other car. Piston, slide it, squeeze it in. Now some newer vehicles, they have electronic brakes, and you have to go by the owner's manual to disengage that electronic brake system before you take anything apart. You got to disable it, otherwise it'll mess it up. So each car are different nowadays, and if you get a car that's let's say 2023, let's say 2020, make sure you go to your owner's manual and check the maintenance procedures before you do anything to the brakes, because it could mess your brake system up. But these older ones, they're a little different. They're just typical brakes. They don't have electronic stuff. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. And what I'll do is just reverse this. I'll pack grease in the bearings, put a new rotor on the hub assembly, and put it all back together. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good day.